You're standing in the middle of a grocery aisle, staring at a receipt, wondering how a few basic items suddenly cost $50. Statistically speaking, you are likely earning a higher income today than you were 5 years ago. Yet millions of people looking at their bank accounts feel poorer than ever. We live with highly advanced technology and a massive surplus of career opportunities, but financial panic is creeping into daily life at an alarming rate. It's easy to blame inflation, but the biggest strain on your wallet right now might be a hidden psychological pressure you don't even realize you're dealing with. It is true that everyday expenses are high. Housing, groceries, and insurance premiums take a much larger bite out of your paycheck. But this chart reveals a mathematical anomaly. We see two distinct lines. The bottom line tracks the steady rise in the cost of living, while the top line tracks reported levels of financial anxiety. Notice how that top line completely breaks away from the actual price data. Normally, humans experience something called price adaptation. Over time, we get used to higher numbers on a receipt. The cost of living levels off in our minds. Yet that anxiety line keeps shooting upward. If we naturally adapt to higher prices, the math suggests we are failing to adapt to something else. An invisible expectation is quietly draining our resources. For most of human history, you measured your success locally. You looked at the neighbor's house or your coworker's car to figure out if you were doing okay. Today, that local neighborhood has entirely vanished. You now evaluate your self-worth against millions of strangers scattered across the globe. Every time you open your phone, you are bombarded with hyper-curated lifestyles. Flashes of luxury architecture, flawless relationships, and exotic vacations pass by in seconds. In baseline shifting, the first curve is your local standard. But consuming extreme digital lifestyles forms a massive second curve, pulling normal out of reach. You might be this dot, doing well locally, until the digital standard swallows you into the bottom percentile. The digital age has taken our natural survival instinct for progress and turned it into a permanent state of inadequacy. This brings us to a phenomenon known as lifestyle inflation. It happens when your demands and desires accelerate the precise moment your income grows. The apartment you desperately wanted 2 years ago suddenly feels cramped. The smartphone that blew your mind is now painfully slow and outdated. Compare economic inflation on the left to lifestyle inflation on the right. Economic inflation is a rising staircase with a solid ceiling. It hits a structural limit. But lifestyle inflation is an internal treadmill with no top structure, spinning infinitely faster into empty space. A psychological void cannot be filled by simply earning a larger salary. Earning more money to fund an accelerating treadmill will slowly destroy your wealth. We live in an era of massive material comfort. We have access to global goods, instant communication, and climate-controlled homes. Yet profound daily satisfaction feels incredibly rare, because every time you reach a new financial milestone, your brain normalizes the achievement. The finish line moves, reducing your success to a permanent mirage. However, behavioral economics shows us a different path. The minority of people who actually feel financially free today rarely earn the highest incomes. Instead of trying to out-earn their expanding desires, they actively impose strict caps on their own expectations. They practice intentional consumption. They drastically reduce their exposure to social comparison, choosing to define success entirely in private. True financial freedom does not come from upgrading your life to match the internet. It comes from intentionally opting out of the comparison game entirely. Because wealth isn't about having more, it's about needing less.